Right then, this is Sharky from SHAR-KADE. So today I'm going to show off this Mortal Kombat Scorpion in Sub-Zero custom arcade design. So this is one of our Ultimate Deluxe control panels. It comes with a Ryzen 5 CPU, 16 gig of DDR4 Ram, a 256 gig M.2 SSD, an RTX 3060 graphics card, and our 16 terabyte Hyperspin build internally. Now with this unit, the customer has upgraded to the 24 and 32 terabyte add-on. So that's a extra 16 terabyte drive added to the unit, making this unit a full 32 terabyte build. Now with this unit, you do get a 5-meter HDMI cable, you get a wireless keyboard and mouse, an RGB LED controller for that custom fan grill on the front there. You get a Wii controller kit also with this unit and 2 Xbox controllers. Now then, the unit has 2 official Sanwa sticks. It also has the full Sanwa button layout. The whole theme is all custom made by me. Now on the left hand side here we have Scorpion there shooting a spear, and then over to the right hand side we have Sub-Zero there in this nice blend between the orangey yellow to blue. The Sanwa ball tops as well match the same colour as the Sanwa buttons. You won't be able to see it very clear there, but I have got some high quality images of these dust covers that actually have the Mortal Kombat logo on there. It's just faded in with that nice orange trim for player 1, and then over to player 2 we have a blue trim around that dust cover with that MK logo in the center of it. Now we have this hidden vent custom fan grill on the front here. So we have the Mortal Kombat logo there, that nice badge, really high quality image there. Looks smart, suits the theme of the unit itself. It looks nice fading in, fading out as well when you switch it over to that. Across the edges here we do have vents, so we have vents on each side of the grill on a nice quadruple layered custom grill there, so there's a nice bit of airflow coming right around the grill, which hides the actual inflow of the unit. Across the control panel we do have gold T-molding. Now this gold T-molding really stands out on the unit. It's got a nice finish to it. The corner pieces for the orange side are obviously orange, and with those orange buttons there, and then across the center rod we have that repeating image of the Mortal Kombat logo just faded in the background there. Over to the right hand side we have the blue button layout, and then on the right hand side we have our USB 3.0 ports for the controllers. Over around the back here we have our PC components. So we have USB 3s in there, USB 2s, we have a 3.2 I think port in there, Ethernet port, you have your audio connectors, your Wi-Fi antennas, and you have all your GPU ports there as well. So you have 3 display ports and a HDMI out port. So if you want to set one of these up with a gaming monitor rather than a TV, you can do. So these units come with over 340 plus systems, over 100,000 games. Now you've got a ton of next gen titles like Mortal Kombat 11, Star Wars: The Fallen Order, Far Cry 6, Resident Evil 4 the remake, and so much more going on inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away and I'm just going to show off some of the systems and what they do and so on. So I'll catch us in a second. Right, so when you start your unit up, you will be welcomed to a Hyperspin front end. Our Hyperspin front end comes with all the wheel art that you need for each system. So each system has its own wheel art and theme. So you've got your Capcom Classics. If you go into your Capcom Classics, then you've got your themes and videos and all that stuff for your games. If we head back there and head down, we have tons of different systems. So on our 32TB build, we have added the comic book collection. So you would select your comic books collection. And then we have a wide range of comic books there. So there's still a lot more comic books to add in wheel arts and stuff like that. So as you cycle through the comic books, you actually have a comic book preview of the comic book you're about to read. You can select your comic book.
Loading. Loading complete.
And then if you wish, you can just use the arcade stick, move left or right and read each page. Now when you exit a certain comic book, any comic book, it will finish off on the previous page you were on. So I like to leave it at the start there for customers to then read the comic book from the beginning. And then you just hit your left pinball button, that will exit you out that system. If we head back, we can then go through all the different systems there. There is tons on this unit. Like I say, over 340 plus systems. Now there is a jukebox selection, but you do need a license key for the software. It costs around $40, which is around 30 odd quid in UK money. Basically you have a ton of karaoke tracks, music videos and so on. We'll head down. We also have a huge MAME collection. You're looking at around 30,000 MAME games. So you can load up the system. If you just hold left or right on the arcade stick, you can search by letter. So I always like to my go-to game is Street Fighter. So if I wanted to go to Super Street Fighter, I would go to T rather than S, because SU is closer to T than what S is, because there's so many games on the system. You could be cycling ages to find Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So all you do is hit your A button on your arcade.
Loading. Loading complete.
So on the arcade we do have some button presses for different menus. So if you press your coin and start together, you can change the input controls. If there's a certain game you prefer a certain button layout. These are set up mainly for like some Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter games, the actual controller layout. So your top three buttons would be your punch, light punch, medium punch, hard punch. Bottom three would be your light kick, medium kick, hard kick. But if there's a certain layout you prefer, you can change it in Input This Machine. We also have a few video options, but the main ones is the cheat options. So games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, if you wanted to unlock a certain character that you can only do via the cheats, you can do that in the cheat menu. So you have tons of different cheats on there for each and every game as well. You can select characters, so you can select a certain character, E Honda and so on, Bison, Sagat, Long, Akuma as well. So if we just go back a second, and then we've got Akuma on there. So you can't unlock Akuma as a playable character unless you actually have the cheats. And as you can see there, we have Akuma. And if you wish to pause a game, you just press your right pinball button. That will pause the game. You can hold your coin button, player 1. Now the coin button, depending on what unit you've got, is usually on the front. On the left hand side, that's your coin button. On the right hand side is your start button for player 1. On the player 2 side on the front, it's your left for coin, right for start. So if you hold your coin button and press your A button, which is the first button bottom row, that will quick save. Now we'll pause again. If we hold the coin button and press your first button top row, then we have that quick save there, and it'll reload to the point you were at. Now that's handy because your arcade versions of the games didn't have saves. You got to a certain point in the game and then you'd run out of credits, or you'd die or anything like that, and you'd want to go, you would have to start the game again and whatnot. That way you can quick save it to a certain point of the game. If you make a mistake, then it means you can go back to that perfect score and then get higher scores from that certain point that you've saved. Like I say, the pause comes in handy as well, because arcade games never had a pause. You have a pause just by pressing the right pinball button. Now let's go back. Let's head down to the Xbox stuff. So we have a nice collection of Xbox games. Not every game has been tested on the Xbox collection. Most of them have been. I am aware of a few that aren't quite working as they should be. But anything that isn't working well, we'll just rather try and fix, or we'll remove outright. But most of the stuff I have tested on the Xbox collection, because it is a new system added. Seems to work fine, seems to run fine. So we have a ton of stuff there. We have around 800 games. Most of the wheel art and stuff is there as well. There is some stuff missing, but I will update that once a 32 terabyte drive is complete. I'll update that, and then customers can just simply download the files if they need to, instead of sending the drives back. Or they can send the drive back for the update, and then all those wheel art and stuff will be on there. Let's head down. We do have an N-Switch collection, so we have quite a large collection of N-Switch games. Stuff like A Hat in Time, Bayonetta. We have, Clubhouse Games. We have Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, Aladdin, a few older games. We have Double Dragon Neon on there. Around 200-300 games that's on the N-Switch stuff. Let's head down. So we do have high-end gaming PCs inside these small units. Now, people may laugh at times at the prices of these units. Now, 2,500 is a lot of money to be pulling out for a small arcade. But the price is up because we have to put high-end gaming parts inside these units. We only use brand new parts. You're not getting some crappy refurbished Dell PC. You're actually getting high-end gaming PC parts. You're getting mini ITX motherboards, which aren't cheap. You're also getting custom power supplies. We are the only ones that build units this small at this performance. You're getting that RTX 3060 graphics card. You're getting the 16 terabyte internal, and so much more going on inside the units. Now, the PC Games Plus selection is really where these units shine in their performance. Now, you've got next-gen titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you've got Far Cry 5, Far Cry 6, you've got Crash Bandicoot 4, Crysis 2 and Crysis 3 Remastered, Cyberpunk 2077, Days Gone, a ton of new-gen titles as well, which games like Gotham Knights, Guilty Gear Strive. We have, I think Golem's on this now as well, which is meant to be a terrible game. We have Resident Evil 4, the remake as well, and Resident Evil Village. Probably the two best Resident Evil games you can get. Resident Evil 4 I've completed quite a few times, and it's such a good game. Same with Resident Evil 8. Now what I'll do is I'll just go back, pressing our B button or second button, bottom row, and just go to the next system. Now the next system is the PC Games Plus cheat selection. Now what this is it, 2 moments, what this is all the NextGen, a large collection of the NextGen PC titles which have a cheat system running in the background. Now when you load up a game, you can just press your right pinball. It sometimes will pop up with the screen the first press, sometimes you've got to press it twice, and then you'll get a cheat system menu pop up. You can enable and disable cheats on the fly. If there's certain cheats you prefer, if there's certain, like say Resident Evil 4 and you wanted max coins and stuff like that, max points and all that stuff, so you could buy all your guns and upgrade your guns, you can do that. So you just enable the cheats. It'll, as soon as you do a pickup or sell something, you'll have maximum pesetas, I think they're called, to then purchase your gun upgrades and your guns and stuff like that. You can have unlimited ammo. You can have God mode, but it makes it a bit too easy to play. You can change the game speed and so on. So you have loads of different cheats and settings for each game. Now what this cheat system will also do is the cheat system will remember your previous cheats. So you don't have to go in each time and re-enable cheats and disable certain cheats and stuff like that. So whatever you've saved previously, it'll save after that. Now when you go back into your normal PC Games Plus selection, that will have no cheat option or anything like that on the game itself. You'll just be able to play that normally. Now the next system down is another selection that no other cabinet builders do, and that is the PC Games modded selection. Now some people may say, wait, aren't mods cheats and cheats mods and stuff like that? No, the PC Games modded selection, right, are actual character mods and other bits and pieces in game. So let's say you wanted a certain type of sword for Devil May Cry, an unusual sword you wouldn't have in the game. It's a whole remodel of that item. So you can have different types of guns, you can have different character costumes and so on. Let's head down. So we have stuff like Resident Evil 2 remake mods, Resident Evil 3 remake mods. We have Sifu mods. So if you want to play Sifu and be Batman, you can. Brilliant mod for Batman there. We have Bruce Lee as well. So if you're a fan of Bruce Lee and you want to play as Bruce Lee in Sifu, you can play Bruce Lee. Same with Goku from Dragon Ball Z. You can be Goku. You can also be Luffy from One Piece. Spider-Man if you wish. We also have a Kami mod. Now I've worked on a lot of the script work sorting this out. So each time this game actually loads, 2 moments. Each time this game loads, it will load in the mods for that mod. And then each time you exit, it'll actually remove that mod and put the game back to normal. Same with the other characters and stuff like that. So the other mods, it'll load in the mod for that gameplay. Then next time when you quit, it'll put it back to normal. So when you load it up in PC Games Plus, the mods won't be enabled. And next time you load it in on the next mod, it'll actually remove the previous mod. That's just to stop it glitching out or causing any issues for the game itself. Because once you start loading multiple mods on top of each other that do the same job, it can end up messing the game up. So we have a script running in the background. Basically, once you exit the game, it'll take off the mods and reload in the original game files. So that's what we have there. If we go back, head down to Pinball Arcade. Now we have a massive pinball collection. We have Pinball FX2, Pinball FX3 as well, which is mainly most of the Pinball FX2 tables. Now Pinball FX2 has some football tables that's not on 3, and 3 has a lot of the newer tables and so on. We actually have the update for Pinball FX3 and PC Games Plus as well. And we have Racing Classics, we have Resident Evil games collection, we have Sega Genesis, so we have Sega Naomi Gun games. Now the Sega Genesis and stuff, the older console systems all work with the arcade controls. So these work with the actual arcade controls, like the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Atari and so on. The analog systems, which is the PlayStation 1, PS2, PS3, N64, all those systems actually work with the Xbox controllers, so that you get 2 Xbox controllers with the system. Those games work with those controllers. We also have a PS5 collection. Now we were one of the first also to start doing a PS5 selection. You may say, well, SHAR-KADE PS5 isn't emulated, and you would be correct. Now the PS5 selection are the PS exclusive games, sorry, that were on the PS5. Those are the collection of those, but in PC format. So there's no emulation. You're getting better graphics, you're getting better game performance by not emulating the PS5 and actually having the PC versions of those games on the system. So you've got like Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, God of War, Ghostwire Tokyo, Elden Ring, Sifu, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales and so on. Let's head back up. Now there is gun games and stuff like that on the system. So there's PC shooters, there's MAME shooters, there's demol shooting games as well, which is like Sega Naomi gun games. Now you do get a Wii controller kit with the system. Now you can use a Wii controller kit for the gun games, but if you wish to purchase the Gun for IR kit from Arpeg Electronics, I can make sure the setup is configured for when you get your machine. If there's any setup we do need to do if you buy them at a later date, I can just jump onto your machine using the Wi-Fi, jump on through any desk, and then I can do any configurations, anything that you need sorting out with your system. I can jump on a phone call and we can configure the guns for your setup. I don't sell the guns personally direct from me. I'll make sure you order them. It just saves me the hassle. So if anything goes wrong with shipping or anything like that, you've got to deal with that with Raymond or with Arpeg Electronics. Now Raymond doesn't ship to the UK, he only really ships to the US. If you're a UK customer, you've got to be responsible for the shipping and sort it out. I know Raymond's had a headache in the past of getting the Gun for IR stuff shipped out. I actually ordered some a few weeks back to come to the shop for a customer. Basically they got stopped in customs because I put them down as a toy gun. Raymond recommended to maybe just send them as controllers next time, just put them down as game controllers. That way they shouldn't get stopped within customs. It's ridiculous, I don't know why, if it's down as a toy gun, why it even got stopped. But anyways, that's the way it is with customs. Sometimes it can just be a bit anal about things. But yeah, if you wish to have the true arcade feel, I do recommend the Gun for IR setup. It's just a lot better, perfect accuracy, and it's just real fun to play. So if you wish to purchase them, like I say, you can purchase them at Arpeg Electronics. There is gunforir.com, but I've never seen any stock in. Raymond is an official seller for Gun for IR anyways, so you can purchase your kit from him, and he does ship out quite regularly. So let's head down. So we have a big Techno Parrot collection as well. Now Techno Parrot is all your newer arcade stuff. So you have stuff like Let's Go Island, Let's Go Jungle. We have Luigi's Mansion on there. Most of them are shooters. You do have your driving games and your fighting games and stuff like that. You have Rambo on there. You have Ryzen 3 and Ryzen 4. You have Dream Raiders. You have Sega Golden Gun, quality shooting game. Silent Hill, the arcade as well, not a shooting game. You have House of the Dead 4, House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn on there. Transformers, Time Crisis 5 is there as well. Wacky Racers, Aliens Extermination. So all your really cool arcade shooters and new arcade style games. So let's head further down. Now you do have a hypersearch option. It's the only one that's not in alphabetical order. All the systems are in alphabetical order. You may come across PC Engine and stuff like that. That doesn't look like it's in the P collection. I think it's like a Namco system. I can't remember, an Atari or Namco system. So it's in the category of the actual system name, the make of the system. So stuff like Nintendo, or the Nintendo stuff would be in Nintendo. Super Nintendo would be in SU. That's the only one that's not in that system's order, because it's the Super Nintendo system, and so on. So we have Hypersearch, which is just before 19XX, which is the first system on the system. If we just hit our A button, and what I usually do is, because if it's an external drive as well plugged in, or if you have your 32 terabyte drive, you give it a few seconds to just load up and read everything. Just make sure it reads everything. You'll hear the drives ticking away there. And then all I'll do is I'll search Mortal. I usually search God because I usually show customers how to use the machines. So I'll search Mortal. So what this is going to do, if we just hit enter and search there, or A button, sorry, on search. Now on the left hand side you do have all your systems, right? So that's all the games with the word Mortal in for every system. Across the top there, if we just move right, we can go across the different systems themselves. So in Future Pinball there is a Mortal Kombat table. In Xbox we have Mortal Kombat games. Across the PC Games Plus selection, if we go PC Arcade Games Plus, we have Immortals Phoenix Rising in there, and Mortal Kombat 11. In PC fighting games we do have Mortal Kombat 9, so Complete Edition, and Mortal Kombat 10. So you have all the latest Mortal Kombat stuff as well on our setup. So we'll just go ahead and load up Mortal Kombat.
Loading.
May take a few moments. Some games like the Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball FighterZ do take a little while to load up. Most of the next gen titles load pretty instant, but there's a few games that take a minute or two to just load into the game itself. It's nothing to do with the speed of the system, it's just the game itself. The PS2 collection as well, we have a big PS2 collection. Now those, to save space on the drive to get all those 98,000 games on just the 8 terabyte portion of the 16 terabyte drive, that's our main drive, and our 8 terabyte, that has 98,000 games on. Now to get as many games on there, we've had to zip each and every PS2 game. So the PS2 games do take a little while to load. The larger the game, the longer it takes to load. I think the most you wait is about 5 minutes or so, which is quite a long time if you just want to play a game. But the PS2 stuff, just to save space, we keep them all zipped. Now if we were to unzip them, we're going to take an extra 2 terabytes worth of space. And to actually save 2 terabytes worth of space to wait 5 minutes, I'd rather wait 5 minutes than take up an extra 2 terabytes worth of space when it's not needed. So Mortal Kombat 11 does work with the arcade controls. Now in the PC Games Plus selection, you have platform games, you have your fighting games, and you have your standard PC games like your shoot 'em ups and stuff like that. Your analog games, I call them. Now what I have the arcade control set up for the fighting games and platform games, and the analog games, stuff like Star Wars: The Fallen Order, God of War, all work with the Xbox controllers. So we have 2-player setup for Mortal Kombat 11. And we have, I think this is all the characters, I'm not sure, we might be missing 1 or 2 characters on the DLC. But we have Terminator, Robocop and stuff on there. Now I'm excited for the new Mortal Kombat that's coming out, which is the #1 remake, is it? That, as soon as that's released, to be put on the 32TB. Same with Street Fighter 6, we're waiting to get that on the system, as well as Tekken 8.
Round 1, fight. Get over here.
So as you can see, the next gen titles perform extremely well. You have that RTX 3060 graphics card in there, the 16 gig of RAM, the Ryzen 5 CPU, so that's more than capable of handling all those next gen titles. So you can upgrade the RAM. You probably don't need to upgrade the CPU. The GPUs at the moment, because of the size of the units, we can only fit a certain size RTX 3060 graphics card, so it's got to be a specific brand of GPU. We use a 12 gig version cards, and they're slightly smaller than your standard 2-fan GPUs, so they fit in just right. Any bigger, they're not going to fit. So we use the smaller GPUs, but the performance is absolutely outstanding on the units. You put one of my machines side by side with a Sony PS5 console, you're gonna see the absolute difference. 1 in frame rate, performance, and 2 in just sheer texture and quality. Now, I recommend you usually run these at 1080p. That's for all the older systems and stuff like that. Now you can upscale to about 2K. I wouldn't recommend 4K, it's going to cause you issues. But the default resolution should be on 1080p, and then you can upscale in the next gen titles if you wish to 2K and so on. But like I say, I recommend when you get the unit, I'll give you a call, I'll jump on the system with you, we'll change the resolution down to 1080p, and the system will perform perfectly. You can keep it in 1080p, and believe me, if you put these side by side with a PS5 console at 4K resolution and this at 1080p resolution, you will see that this one's still more clear than a 4K PS5, sorry, not PS4, PS5 console. It will look a lot more clearer. That's because with PC textures, you're getting a lot more texture and detail and all the different effects that the GPUs perform with. The different shaders and stuff like that, the different shadowing and stuff. So you're running at a lower resolution, but you're running at a higher texture rate. And you're getting a higher FPS as well. So when you're running games at a higher frames per second, it looks smoother, it looks cleaner. When you're running, say, a PS5 console and you're only getting, say, 30 FPS up to 60 FPS, then it's not going to look as nice as what you're getting 120 FPS or even 70, 80 FPS in a game. It's always going to look cleaner, smoother on the arcade than it is going to be on the console. And consoles usually by default around the medium to low texture rate. Now everything on this system is run at high textures. You've got a 12 gig graphics card as well. You can get the 3060 Ti's, but to be honest, I'd rather have more graphical RAM to deal with a lot of the newer games, because a lot of the newer games are requiring more graphical RAM for running the higher texture rate than what the 3060 Ti does, because the 3060 Ti I think is only an 8 gig card, which is a few quid more than the one that's in this machine. The 3060 standard one, the 12 gig version, actually has that more graphical RAM. And plus, having more graphical RAM doesn't hurt emulation, especially more likely for the future. You're going to need more graphical RAM for emulation. So if they start emulating the PS4 stuff and PS5 stuff at a later date, more graphical RAM will probably be required rather than a more higher performing card itself. So that's it for the SHAR-KADE custom arcade units. If you wish to make a purchase, hit us up at dean@sharkade.co.uk. We have now also updated the website phone number. So if you've tried to call us in the past few months and I haven't answered, it's because our phone line was taken out. We've got the internet in. I've just been so flat out and busy, I forgot to update the actual new number to the website. So that's all updated now, so you can actually give us a call when I'm at work during opening hours. There is going to be some special offers on for the summer period. There's going to be a few special offers going. There's a few things I want to show up as well. There's some new stuff I want to show off. We also have a 4-player unit which will have probably finished next week, that come back for repair. We're going to let that go for quite a few £100 cheaper, just because it's a repaired unit. It's like new now. One of the panels was split. We replaced that whole panel out and replaced certain bits and pieces. We did repair the panel, but to be honest, though it's a really good repair, I just wanted it replaced, then it's all brand new inside. That is going to be a 32 terabyte build, 4-player unit with trackball Mario style cabinet. I'm probably going to be adding something really cool inside, so keep an eye out for that video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the videos, hit that notification bell, and I will catch us in the next one. Bye.